G'day guys, it's Dave here from the Motorcycle Alliance. I'm with Justin from Trooperloo's Garage. Just going to run through some of the boots that are currently for sale. Be a good option for some of the newer riders to have a look at what's available, particularly for girls, commuters. There's a lot of new options available now that we traditionally didn't have. So Justin, just run us through the kind of stuff that you've got for sale here. There's a big variety here. You've got everything from stuff that looks like sand shoes right through to your old traditional Johnny Reb style boots and your sports boots.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Dave. Look, there is a wide range, as you said, and there is a range of fitment issues and different controls on motorcycles, and people need to be mindful of the bigger picture when they buy a motorcycle boot. Here at Trooperloo's Garage, we look mainly at the functionality, quality of our products. So one thing for riders to be careful of is that marketing hype. Look for real quality and not just marketing. You know, riders aren't buying a can of Coke; they're buying something that's important for them for their safety.
So it's not necessarily about the big brand names; it's about what they're actually producing.
100%. They should be looking at the actual quality of the products. You know, rather than just the big ads and the glossy pictures. What does the product offer as far as safety, fitment, functionality, and then looks as well, of course. So we need all of those things to come into play, and that's why we choose our products and test our products.
Well, that's one of the things that's really changed too, is the looks of the product. So let's start up with the cruiser type boots. That's pretty much your traditional old cruiser style boot, isn't it?
That's right.
Your old Johnny Reb style.
Yeah. So with your cruiser boots, you'll see that they're a much chunkier boot, a much bigger look, and that goes with the style of those bikes too. The bikes are generally more chunky, they're bigger. They're a touring, commuting type bike. They're not there for the fast corners, the racetrack. So when we're looking at the functionality of these boots, obviously you're still looking at your core features. You want good ankle protection in the event of a slide down the road. You want good structural support for joint protection. You want good soles and heels, because you don't want to be wearing them out, putting your feet on and off the road, because there's nothing worse than your boots sort of wearing out too quick when you've spent a few $100s.
You do see a lot of those cruiser style boots too that have quite slippery soles on them too.
That's correct.
And, sometimes when you're pulling up and wet weather and oil on the road and things like that at intersections, it's important to have a good sole on them.
And with the cruiser boots, always you want to be looking at things like breathability for summer, but also waterproof and rain protection, because a lot of the cruisers are used in much more wider weather conditions because of the wide use of the bikes. But you'll see the really chunky style, and you know, I've got a set of rear sets there, for example. It's a different build. Most cruisers have forward controls or very large spaces for them to put their feet and for gear selection. And if I try to sit these boots against a set of sports rear sets, you'll see it's a very big, what I'd call a macro movement for gear shift. But if this was on a forward control, with some of them have heel-toe operation and much more space under the toe. So that's just one of the core features. But this is more a general boot, can be worn with jeans still. And whether we like it or not, an important part of my motorcycling that I think is great is the fashion side of it. You want your products to match your bike still, but not compromise your safety features.
Yeah, exactly. And then when we get to the sports boots, this is an area where there's a lot of big brands play in that marketplace. There's a massive amount of choice. Firstly, how do you choose what you're going to stock in the store? And secondly, what should a customer be looking for? And thirdly, in terms of fitting these sorts of boots up, some boots like this are going to stretch a reasonable amount over time. Boots like this that are a lot more compact, is there different fitting issues that we need to be aware of? So just give us a run through on what you've got here.
Okay, so the first thing with fitment is we look at, is it a man-made fibre or is it a natural fibre like a leather? Leather will always stretch more than your man-made fibres.
Okay.
However, there's nothing wrong with a lot of the modern man-made fibres, so it comes down to a range of other issues. But boots will never stretch in length. Never. But they will stretch, especially a leather boot will stretch over the top of the foot.
Okay.
So if it's a bit tight on a boot like this, which has a lot of leather surface, this has got more propensity to stretch than say a boot that has a lot of plastic on it, because the plastic components will not stretch. So we've got cable here, we've got plastic toe. This is not going to stretch across the top of the foot as much as this boot would.
Okay.
But as you said, in a sports boot, we're looking more for a more snug fitment. You'll see they're not as designed as much to walk in. It's very much about protection, breathability, replaceable pads in the event of a crash, so you don't need to replace your boots all the time. Toe sliders for your sharp corners on a track, so you can replace the toe sliders. But as far as brands we sell, GBs, that's a really hard one because we change all the time. The minute we're not happy, we change brands. What we look for in a brand is the brand safe? Is the brand well priced and something that I can offer to our customers at a good price? But more importantly, is it a brand that if there's a problem with the boot, we get support from the importer?
Right.
Because I know if I spent $250, $300 on a boot and by chance something went wrong, I want to know I can go to my dealer and get the support for that replacement and have it happen fast. So for example, with the importer of these brands, I've got the confidence to know that if by chance there is an issue, I can just replace that boot on the spot because I know that importer will support me back.
Right, but it's impossible for the consumer to know that, isn't it?
100%. They've got to rely on us as a shop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hence why coming to a shop is sort of important. You can't get that on eBay.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the things with these sports style boots is when you buy a boot, it's pretty much got to fit when you walk out, doesn't it? You can't buy a boot that's a little bit too tight and think it's okay,
right,
it'll stretch out, it'll be all right in a month.
In this type of boot, yes. Some things will loosen up. So for example, what I love about this boot is its hinge system. So it offers pretty good mobility from the start. You can see it's got the hinge system here. So good mobility without compromising strength.
Yep.
Others will need to free up around the flex points. So that will free up, but the length will not get more comfortable and very little will change over the top of the foot as well. So if you can't make that boot feel pretty much right when you're here, not a lot will change.
Okay.
It will get a bit easier to walk in, of course, but other than that, not a lot will change.
And that's where you're going to get issues with people that buy online and buying from overseas websites and things like
100%.
that. You're just not going to be able to get that fit right.
Well, we even see them come in here, they've bought them online, and they will come and say they bought the boot. And we can actually see by the product code if it was bought here.
Yeah. Or
not from here, and people get sort of annoyed that I can't replace that boot because I don't know that it's a genuine. I don't know where they bought it. I don't know the importer. I don't know if it was old stock.
Yep.
I've got no history.
Yeah, exactly.